back to the morning of January 29th, 2022. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Were you home
I was home in Braintree.
in Braintree? Who were you with?
My husband?
Did you receive a phone call?
Yes, from Carrie Roberts. It was about 6:15, between 6:15 and 6:30 in the morning.
When she called you that morning, do you remember the conversation?
Yeah, she said John was found in a snowbank. And I didn't understand, which I said, what do you mean found in a snowbank? She said, they found him in the snow. They don't know what happened. She says he's brought up to the Good Samaritan Hospital. So she says, I'm going to come get you and Papa because I don't want you driving. And I says, we can drive there. We both have four-wheel drives. And she says, no, I'm coming. So she came to get us. And it took a while to get there because the snow was bad. So when we get up there, they told us to sit in this room and they would bring us down shortly. So finally they said, okay, you can go down. So we started walking down the corridor. And as I'm walking down, I hear Karen Reed yell, Peg, is he dead? Is he dead, Peg? Peg, is he dead?
When you first saw Kaylee, what did she look like?
She looked distraught.
Did you try to help her?
Well, I think I just said everything will be okay.
Did she come with you?
Yes,
Where are you going?
to my house.
So what happens?
So we go to my house, and my daughter's up, and the two girls they were hanging downstairs, just hanging out, just being kids. And then, I don't know, a couple hours later, maybe, Paul called me and asked me to bring Kaylee home.
Did you know anything at that point?
I did, yes.
You did or didn't?
At that point, I did when Paul had told me.
So what do you do?
Asked Madeline and Kaylee if, I'd say, Madeline, we come for the ride. I don't say anything to Kaylee, and we get in the car, and I start heading back to John's house.
And you didn't say anything to Kaylee?
No, I didn't. I just said everything will be all right. She had a feeling.
Why do you say that?
She didn't want to go home.
It was more or less to make sure the jury had an understanding that because I didn't physically inspect the vehicle, it did not matter for my analysis, sir. I wanted to make sure the jury understood that.
Don't hide behind the jury. I'm talking about your communications with the defense. I'm asking you specifically about your conversations with the defense.
That's two questions. Ask one question.
You wrote, I have a feeling they are going to argue I didn't personally inspect the vehicles. That's what you wrote, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. The tone in the argumentation.
Did you write that?
Yes,
Right. And when you said they, you're referring to the opposition, the Commonwealth, correct?
correct.
Right. And you offer an explanation or a way to deal with what the Commonwealth may confront you with, don't you? You make a suggestion to help the defense, don't you?
Again, it was to help the jury understand that because I did not physically inspect the vehicle, it did not matter for my analysis. That was the point I was trying to make.
I had enough information from the material I reviewed, so it wasn't necessary. Need to show the jury it doesn't matter in this case. That's what you wrote.
Right, need to show the jury.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to make sure that point was understood, to the jury.
In your collaboration with the defense, that's not all you wrote, is it? You gave them discretion about things that you should or shouldn't say in front of that jury who you say you want to hear everything. Didn't you?
There were other comments, yes.
If you want the jury to hear everything, you wouldn't be relying on the defense to tell you what to say and not say, would you? So when did you become an advocate for the defense?
Interesting.
Do you feel like you're an advocate for the defense?
No, sir.
Are you sure about that?
Sir, I'm on the science and the analysis that I've done. That's the side that I'm on.
You sure are.
Next up was, I think, the voir dire. I think Alan contacted me letting me know that the court wanted to do a voir dire of myself and Dr. Rentschler.
And you mean Alan, you mean Attorney Jackson?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you became friendly.
I guess first name basis, is that what you're referring to?
No, I'm saying, did you become friendly?
No, I wouldn't say that we were friends.
I didn't ask if you were friends. I said, did you become friendly?
I talked to him like I talked to all of the attorneys that I work with, sir.
What would you call me if you were going to address me?
Probably Mr. Brennan.
March 20th, 2024?
So I believe that would have been the very first phone call that I had with Mr. Jackson.
Right. Was that more than about logistics?
Well, I think we were trying to figure out what should we do. I will note that this was a very abnormal situation for me, being involved in a federal investigation and then ultimately being called as a witness.
No.
Well, I'm trying to answer your question.
But you're not. Did you talk about more than logistics?
So are you finished with your answer, Dr. Wolfe, or are you still answering?
I was still trying to answer.
Go ahead, finish.
Thank you. So as I mentioned, again, the situation was abnormal. I didn't know if we could get involved. I didn't think Mr. Jackson knew we could get involved. In terms of a path forward, would we be able to do more work? Could we review additional material? How could we work together moving forward? There was a lot of unknowns, so there was a lot of uncertainty.
You done?
Yes, sir.
I want you to share with the jury the first thing that happens that changes everything.
At 4:53, my phone rings, and I look at my caller ID. I look at the phone, and it's Kaylee,
who's
John's
Kaylee?
niece. John's niece. And I say hello, and she said, yeah, well, basically, she relayed to me that
Next question.
When you pick up the phone, could you hear a voice on the other end?
I heard a voice and a lot of screaming.
And the voice you heard, is that Kaylee, John's niece?
Yes,
And the screaming, was it a man or a woman screaming?
it was a woman,
How loud was that person screaming?
very loud.
Could you make out anything that person was saying as they were screaming?
My name was screamed a lot. And then the other individual ended up getting on the phone with me.
Okay, and who was that person that was screaming in the background?
Miss Reed,
How long was she screaming for while you were speaking to your niece before you spoke to her?
the entire time I was speaking to Kaylee, she was screaming.
Describe her demeanor.
Miss Reed's,
Yes.
Jen! Jen! And then she's screaming that John didn't come home. She left him at the waterfall. She was hysterical. It was very hard to follow what she was saying. I don't need to see my transcript. I know what I know, and I know what I remember. So
That's not my question. I'm not asking what you remember now. I'm asking how you testified a year ago, ma'am.
whether I said it was as we're fighting over silly words, whether I said it as I got out of the car, we were there.
Words matter. They matter a lot.
Okay, so remember, Mr. Jackson, no comments. Ms. McCabe, tell your answer as best you can.
Okay.
Do you remember exactly how it is that you testified last year?
I do not know.
Is that a transcript of your entire testimony at the grand jury in April of 2022?
I believe so, yes.
You've reviewed it in the past?
I have read it about a year ago, yes.
You read it in anticipation of your testimony a year ago, correct?
Yes, I reviewed it.
Have you reviewed it in preparation for your testimony today?
No,
Or
I haven't.
Yesterday. Ms. McCabe, turn to the page or pages in that transcript where you recount to the grand jurors that my client said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
This is over 227 pages.
Take your time.
How long did you say it was, Ms. McCabe?
227?
I'm not going to let her read 227 pages.